Hey everyone, we're in September. We got 4 new games from Amazon Prime Gaming, so let's check them out. Before we get started in normal game reviews, I want to remind people that you can also get other games through other clients through Prime Gaming. The example this month would be Assassin's Creed Origins is free, but you have to have the Uplay client. Again, I don't cover those since you have to have the other client. I try to stick to the Amazon Gaming one. So first game we have is We the Revolution. It came out 2019. 75 on Metacritic, $20 for about 12 hours of gameplay here. And this is a point and click game. You play as a judge during revolutionary Paris, and this game is heavily on the politics side. You're part of the revolution judge and they want you to side with them, or you can also side with the common people. And you also have very meaningful decisions to make. For example, your wife gets kind of mad at you and you can either go home or party group to get more influence on that side. So there's a lot of politics, and that's where the game is centered around. Overall, the graphics, I like I don't know, I always call it paper mache, but like the paper style graphics. You can tell the people are 3D, but they have these shapes outlined in them, so it looks like just different sheets of shapes there, which I enjoy for some reason. Not sure why, but it's always a nice touch. And again, you have these court cases, which are kind of straightforward. They give you a readout and you click each of the highlighted areas to make questions. You have so many times to get them wrong. If you get them wrong, you won't unlock all the questions. So harder to make a judgment if it's something you would have to send them to prison or let them go. And also you can check out other influence of what political side wants you to do. A lot of times the common people will want you to let him go, and your revolutionary party will want him to go to jail. Cool concept, but for me, this time period and just the heavy political just felt boring to me. Felt like I would have had more fun if it was just a normal court game, to be honest. So that was different. There's very few interactive sections. Obviously, you're in the courtroom is where most of your interactions are. You can pick different scenarios through this bonding thing that you can do, which I quite never fully understood, but I would say not a download. The positive here is if you're huge in these very heavy political games, this one seemed like it's fun if you want to go against the group that you're the judge for or side with them. The con here is it's a court game and you're going to spend much time in court. Granted, may or may not be taking the evidence depending on what political side you decide to choose at that time. Next up, LucasArts. They just keep giving me a game every month. This time, Dig, 1995. I don't know what else to say about it. About $6 if you want to buy it. 8 hours of gameplay and no score on Metacritic. Cutscenes were actually good in this one. I did enjoy them. My capture didn't get the first main introduction, so I got some of these scenes here, but the introduction is more video-like, and I was actually intrigued by this. You can tell it's newer, and with the interactions, you see some of the old-style crosshair mouse, but you're not doing the whole, like, 50 decisions on one item. You kind of just drag it over, so that was nice. The story was very interesting to me. There's a meteor coming to Earth and is about to intersect it and destroy the Earth, and you're out to save it. You destroy the meteor and enter a tunnel and find out it's really a teleport to a new planet, and then the story just gets crazy. The interface is better than the other LucasArts games. Like I said, I do like the simplicity of this. It kept my interest until it started getting weird. I will give this a plus of, I never heard of this one out of the LucasArts. Usually I hear a lot of those games and familiar with them, like Indiana Jones and Monkey Island's the big ones. So it was kind of refreshing to play something that wasn't part of those series and learn about new people. It ran very nice on a new PC. A lot of the other ones we were playing had the Scrum VM. This was kind of native on my PC. and I could play in windowed mode, and it worked pretty well. But overall, I would say not a download. The plus here is this unique story that I don't think many of the games we talked about from LucasArts was covered, so you get to enjoy something I never even heard of. I'm sure around this time, if you're big in the point-and-click games, you probably heard of this. The con is it's still a dated game, and once the story got weird, it was even weird for me to hold my interest. Next up, we have Defend the Rook, which came out in 2021. You're looking at about 20 to 30 hours of gameplay for this game at $18 normally on Steam. It's a roguelike turn-based fighting game, so you have this rook, giant castle that moves very slow and weak attacks but high defense, and by the title of the game, make sure it doesn't die. If it gets destroyed, you lose. A very simple game. You're on this like chess-like board, and you move your couple characters around and your rook and wait for the enemy's attack, and you're usually in this wave style where each level is about 5 waves of bad guys until you fight the boss. This is a roguelike, so it's designed for you to die and upgrade your character and rerun. You also, every wave, you get these little, I call them mini upgrades, that you can update one of your fighters to get this little perk for that next round. It was weird how experience and gold work. I saw you had a counter on the right to collect them, but when I was in the like store to actually spend the gold and experience to upgrade my characters, I couldn't find my total anywhere. So it was like I had to remember what I had when I bought this. So there were some weird interface things that I did not enjoy much. And it's very simple on that. But with the simplicity of the board, I did find this a nice little game. So I would say download, shockingly. As much as I was kind of trashing the interface, I did enjoy this. The Pro, a simple roguelike where you can play for like 10 minutes or so and then save it and come back later. There's no real story here, which I think with the simple board made it wonderful. It's a game of what it is. Here it is. Enjoy in your small amounts, and I think that's where the highlight of this game was. The con here is that interface. Some of the interactions could be cleaned up more, and I think it would become a more polished game. Again, we have a game that was released last year with Castle on the Coast. You're looking at about 3 hours of gameplay for this one with no Metacritic score again, and $15. And this is a 3D platformer, think N64 style game. You play as a giraffe and you land on a castle on the coast. Imagine that. And it's like this library kind of castle. And you walk in, meet some people. Then you meet these 2 characters that are the bad guys that kind of don't like the people in there anymore. And your goal is to get to their tower, but you have to find these missing pieces to build the key to unlock the door. Voice acting's not the best, but for some reason I felt like with the voice acting, I felt like this was someone's passion project. Like they really wanted to build this for like their kids is the impression I got. And just these voice actors seemed like people he knew, and it seemed kind of cool. Like it was weird. Like I know it wasn't the best, but I was like, oh, I feel like your friends helped you with this, which made it unique to me. And also the 64 platformer, it was done pretty well. I was actually shocked that the platforming worked in this, and your attacks remind me of Crash Bandicoot a lot. A lot of high jumping, so double jump is a big deal in this game. I didn't realize it. And like I said, this looks like a child game. When you're watching this video, it looks like it. But I got very confused fast when I entered the first treasure room and saw this. I was even like blown away that this was here, and it took a little skill to get past all the checkpoints. And I was shocked that this is a kid's game. I don't know the level here you want it. I thought it was gonna be staying on the easy side while playing. Obviously, it's not your most unique game, like graphics wise or anything like that, but something was catchy about this. I kind of kept playing it. Maybe because I knew it was kind of short, so I just kind of went through the game. And also, this hits my nostalgia. I like the 64, so a lot of these games that you've seen even through these download or nots, when they're these platformers, I have a soft spot for them. And you also, this has a co-op where you play as a squirrel. You can have a partner come in and play. That's why I felt like the kids game is here. And I just want to highlight that this is a download. The Pro here, it's just fun. I don't think they did anything new. And obviously there's things I kind of trashed again, but you'll just play it. I don't know, it hits a nerve of, oh, I gotta collect everything. Maybe seeing all these collectibles, you just feel like you have to collect them. The con here, it is more geared toward kids, so you may not like that. So the game I would recommend this month is Castle on the Coast. The reason is the reason why I like the download or not. This is a game I would have skipped immediately. Just if I saw this, I have no interest of paying for this. But since it was free and gave it a shot, it stood out to me. And that's why I always like these free games that a lot of platforms are doing nowadays. Is you're playing games you never thought you would play and you find some hidden gems. And I know, like, my biggest one was, no, I paid for Celeste. I was about to say Celeste, but I bought that like 3 times, so I did that. But a lot of times you'll find that one game and you'll spend money on the next platform or something like that to help them out with DLC. So I think it does help spread the word. And obviously you'll talk about it maybe in these videos you're watching and it's already been passed and you saw this in interest. You'll support them as well. But this is why I enjoy this, and this is why Castle on the Coast I think is the download. This is like almost the perfect game of, I would have never bought this, played it, and actually kind of enjoyed it. So anyways, I will see you next month. Peace.